Ironically, several recent chief fakes actually attacked the president for thanking troops. For thanking troops. That is what they're attacking the president for. Both in Normandy, this happened, and again in Italy. And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here. Instead of talking about the president's performance in office, and what I mean by that is his legislative wins, what he's been able to do for the American people across the country, we're seeing these deep fakes, these manipulated videos, and it is, again, done in bad faith.
There were two instances in recent days where leaders, former President Obama and Georgia Maloney of Italy, they physically put hands on the president to guide him and show him, give stage directions. Are they doing that on their own, or has anybody asked them to run the show like that?
First of all, let me spoke to the most recent, right? And as we saw on Saturday, President Obama's office put out a statement. So I would refer you to that statement about what was being accused in those by others. And he said this did not happen in the sense of what people were saying they were seeing, right? Or what was being falsely reported that they were seeing. Let's not forget, President Obama, President Biden have a relationship. They are friends. They're like family to each other. And I think that's what you saw. You saw the president put his hand on the back of President Biden, and they walked off the stage after taking questions or at an event taking questions from Jimmy Kimmel. That is what you saw.
What's going on, everyone? Starks Kenny here today, and we're going to be discussing the media's attempts to discredit the supposed deepfake of Biden's mental condition. Now, I know I did the video yesterday saying that it seems to me Joe Biden is elderly, right? I used to help my grandma, right? And she would do things like this, and I would have to guide her from her room to the living room. And then when she's done eating, I'll guide her from the room back to her room. Obama literally did the same thing to Joe Biden. And they'll sit here in the, what's his name, Creon Jean-Pierre, he's sitting here telling you in your face that it's a deep fake. These are highly edited videos that the right-wing media is creating because they're desperate to highlight Biden's mental decline. When, if you look at stats, many Americans, the people, are concerned about Biden's mental state. And instead of taking an exam, right, putting those results out there and say, look, Biden took a mental exam. Look, certified by a doctor. Here, he's fine. Can we drop this narrative now? Instead of doing that, no, we don't want to do a mental exam on Joe Biden. We don't want to put the results of the mental test out there. Instead, just take Obama's word for it. Obama said he's fine. That's not what happened. He didn't need to guide him anywhere. I didn't realize Obama was a doctor. See, and this is the kind of crap that I'm talking about with the mainstream media. Everyone sees it. Everyone sees that, y'all are literally have the same exact angle on the Joe Biden. It's so, it's ridiculous. And the mainstream media have no credibility with me. I already told you, if you're new to this channel, my argument and position has always been that the left-wing media journalists have a bias towards the Democrats because most of them are Democrats. Most of them donate to the Democratic Party. Most of them are registered Democrats. So I believe they have a bias of trying to shield their preferred party. Sam Harris kind of gave it away before in 2020 when all the mainstream media and all these influential people were sitting here denying the Hunter Biden story. And it doesn't help mainstream media's credibility when a lot of the narratives that they push out has been debunked. So my question to the mainstream media, my question to a lot of Democrats who still trust the mainstream media is how you know you're not being fed another narrative by the media. Should we talk about the Charlottesville hoax? Every influential Democrat that gets confronted on this hoax gets exposed. Oh my God. Because they believe the narrative. Bill Ackman agreed. Until I watched the whole video, I thought Donald Trump was referring to the neo-Nazis based on the press that I have read in other media. narrative. Literally, they're doing the same ish right now. Oh, Biden has no mental concerns. Then after he becomes president, because they always do this, once they get the outcome that they want and they know the information will no longer hurt the outcome, that's when they're okay to release it. And they go, oops. Let's look at this short 18-second clip of David Rubin confronting a Democrat strategist on this hoax that the Democrats has been pushing to the American people.
Were there good people on both sides of Charlottesville? I don't know. Did I hear that, or did I make that up? That Trump said there are good people on both sides.
He didn't say that.
He did not. He
said it, but a sentence later he said, "I'm not talking about the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis."
Well, yeah, after.
That's a laugh like, damn, you caught me. That's what that laugh was. Damn, you caught me. Like, oh shit, I don't know. Ish. You got me. Right? People have legitimate concerns about Biden's mental health. Remember, that's how he got scot-free from his document case. Right? Here are 5 minutes that shows exactly why the special counsel noted Biden's diminished mental fitness. Creon Jean-Pierre does not want you to see this, right? Hey, you can make the argument, hey, Kenny, these are edited clips, but these happen. He froze like this before. He wandered, G7, him wandering around G7, him being led off a stage by Obama is not new. There's clips of him pacing back and forth on stage trying to figure out what side he should go off of. Note card saying, oh, I should leave now. Oh, him saying it out loud. And Democrats, y'all can put all this to bed. Just make him take a mental exam. Put the results out there, say, hey, look, just like y'all wanted Trump's tax returns. Remember that? Remember that narrative? Democrats wanted Trump's tax returns. Oh, he should release his tax returns if he has nothing to hide. All right, Biden, release your health records if you have nothing to hide. Let the American people make an informed decision, right? Wrong. Rules for Trump, not for me. That's the game we're playing here in 2024. Mainstream media, y'all exposing yourselves, really. This is what American people are concerned about. This is what I'm concerned about.
Anyway.
Just like Mitch McConnell, he froze, looked like he had a brain aneurysm, and we're like, yo, get this man out of here. Age limits. Politicians like this is what makes people want to get age limits, because we know you guys won't step down from power on your own. It seems like we have to force you guys to get out of power. And then you want to sit here and pretend that Obama's a credible source. Oh, no, he's fine. I didn't know Obama was sorry, I almost cursed. I didn't know Obama was a doctor. I didn't know that. I thought he was a lawyer in his past life. I didn't know he was a doctor. Right? Jimmy Dore, who is a classic liberal, it's like they all get the same email and they just repeat it. We all saw the video. Here it is. I'm pretty sure there's a name of what she's doing. Strice and Effect. Right? Edited clip. No, to me, the clips that the Democrats are pushing out, that's more edited than anything I've seen the mainstream media do. Every narrative the mainstream media try to put, like the threat to democracy narrative, right? Here's a reporter asking a very good question about the Democrats' threat to democracy argument, or angle anyway. Let's take a look.
The president talks about threats to democracy, and this is the first time I've had a chance to ask a question since former President Trump was convicted. How is it not a threat to democracy when you have a prosecutor from the same party as the president waiting 7 years to prosecute the political opponent in an election year?
I'm sorry, I don't.
How is it not a threat to democracy when you have a prosecutor of the same political party as the president waiting 7 years? The crime happened in 2017. To prosecute in an election year, a former president who's now.
That's a question for the Department of Justice on their timeline and how this moves. I can't answer that for you here. Go ahead, Phil.
Oh, I can't answer that. Okay. And then they wonder why Creon Jean-Pierre, gets called a diversity hire. You got hired because of who you slept with and your skin color. Isn't it funny the people who are the first black this are actually descendants of immigrants? I think she's Haitian. Based on her last name, she's Haitian. Where are all the African Americans at? I'm telling you, DEI only benefits those black people in middle class and upper class. It doesn't really benefit poor black people, really. But you know, they keep wanting to protect it. So let's look at this clip from Abby Phillips, who I guess she's gonna make an attempt to debunk it. But remember, it seems like the mainstream media, they all get the same email from the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party says, hey, run cover for us. And it seems like that's what they do. Sam Harris, we gotta protect Biden because Biden has to win. Why Biden has to win? Because he's the better option. Well, you're a Democrat. Of course you will say that, but in reality, you don't know for sure that Joe Biden is the better option. You believe he is, but based on these 4 years, you were wrong, Sam Harris. But they're running cover. Trump can't win. I digress. Let's look into the clip.
The November choice is between two old men. We know that. But tonight I want to talk about the Joe Biden that Republicans want you to see and the pipeline of videos that aren't telling the full truth. Now, those videos are probably right now clogging the public consciousness as Americans start to think about their votes. The RNC wants to weaponize questions around Biden's age. And the follow-up to that question is he mentally fit enough to do the job again? It's a question that Donald Trump hopes is on voters' minds.
I think you should take a cognitive test like I did. I took a cognitive test and I aced it.
The latest.
So here's an argument I have. If one candidate took a cognitive test to squash doubts about his age, because no one's asking, that's the reason why no one's asking Trump about his age. Trump's 78 years old. Why no one's asking about him? He stutters on stage sometimes. He mistakes people's names. Then you find out certain instances of that was faked by the mainstream media because the mainstream media interpreted in a way that they thought he mistaken someone's name, but he said someone's name correctly. He just the other person just happened to be in the vicinity, right? When they're not playing these narrative games. Trump squashed all that. Hey, I took a cognitive test. Done. No one's asking questions anymore about Trump's age. What is Biden doing for people to continue asking about this question or continually be concerned about this question? Or here's another thing, Abby Phillips. Why do conservatives can keep? How do you know that conservatives can keep pushing something on the American people if the American people wasn't first concerned about it in the beginning? So that means all of this is your fault and Joe Biden's fault. Sorry, Democrats' fault and Joe Biden's fault. Because they didn't get ahead of this and try to squash it. They try to play these narrative games because there may be some validity to what the conservatives are pushing out. And that's what Abby Phillips doesn't want to contend with. So she's going to sit here, pretend that this is a cheap fake video. The White House says this. I don't care what the White House says. The White House has no credibility on this stuff. Of course, the White House is going to say something like this about Joe Biden because they work for Joe Biden. I don't understand how this is journalism. Oh, statements from the White House says this is a cheap fake video. Oh, how is it cheap? How is it fake? Show us an example. Oh, it's highly edited. You mean zoomed in? You mean zoomed out? I digress.
This video shoving this question in voters' faces is this one from a star-studded fundraiser a couple days ago. President Biden and former President Obama on stage waving to this crowd. And then there's a 6-second pause. And then a walk off the stage. The New York Post screamed, "Freeze up." The White House fired back, accusing the conservative outlet of wildly misinterpreting what happened.
Just like the mainstream media, CNN, for example, wildly exaggerating or misrepresenting Donald Trump's bloodbath comment. Y'all remember bloodbath? If Biden wins a re-election, the economy will go through the bloodbath. Donald Trump says it will be a bloodbath if he doesn't win a re-election. Mainstream media, CNN, you guys did that. Oh, but New York Post, oh, no. God forbid they say Joe Biden freeze on stage, which he did. But you like to call it pause. You see the narrative game that's being played here? This is why America, we have to be very careful. We have to be very skeptical. You guys, we have to develop a method in mass where we can filter out information, bad information versus good information. Because right now they're just trying to get a battle of interpretations. They're not trying to inform you. They're not telling you the facts of the matter. All it is, hey, we want you to come to this conclusion. And we'll filter out all evidence, all information that will lead you away from this conclusion that we want you to have. And socialists has been saying this for years in all their books. Repetition. Because eventually people will believe it to be true. And the mainstream media, they know they leverage their advantage. The advantage that mainstream media have is majority of journalists are Democrats. Majority of journalists donate to the Democratic Party. So when they get that mass email, cover for me, they all repeat it. You go to MSNBC, they'll say the same thing. You go to CNN, they say the same thing. You go to Reuters, they say a similar thing. You go to Axios, they say a similar thing. You go to Slate Magazine, they say the same thing. Right? The point is, no matter where you go, they're all saying the same thing. So you get like, maybe he did freeze up. Maybe it was just fine. Maybe it is right wing narrative and misinterpretation. Maybe that's what it is. When literally all you did was go to 6 different left wing news outlets. And then when Fox News says, no, look, here's our oh, you're the only one saying that. When literally Fox News is one of the only mainstream, big name media companies that is catered to the conservative audience. Out of all the big media companies, Fox News is the only one. But then people are going to pretend, oh, look, Fox News is the only one reporting it, but 5 other sources says no, when those 5 other sources are all on the same side. This is the kind of game they play. And then they want to get mad why people are losing trust in the mainstream media, why a majority of Americans believe that mainstream media is a threat to America, that the mainstream media is pushing division. It's because instead of contending with legitimate concerns that the people have, they want to minimize those concerns. Oh, there's no problem with Joe Biden's age, but he doesn't want to take a cognitive test. There's no problem with Joe Biden's age, but the only reason he got out scot-free from his documents case is the fact that the special counsel said that he didn't have he wasn't mentally fit enough to be prosecuted for it. But they want to sit here and pretend that the mainstream, the right-wing media is just making it up. I'll let you decide what's real or fake. But all I know is, hey, these are the positions, these are some of the clues or events that I'm basing all this on. I hope you find true information, because to me, I don't hear nothing y'all say until I hear Biden took a cognitive test and he passed decisively. Instead, I hear how they're going to make special considerations for Joe Biden during the debate. Like he gets to sit down. Huh? You want to sit down presidential debate? I mean, sure, if Donald Trump's get to sit down, but I think there's so much considerations for him, like that don't give pause for concern. If the mainstream media was working for the American people, these are the kind of questions they'll be asking. But it seemed like to me, so obviously, it seemed like they only work for the Democratic Party. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you thought about my monologue? What you think about some of the points that I bring? Do you think they were legitimate? Do you think they're not legitimate? I'd like to hear your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.